Have you ever had that strange feeling, like someone is watching you, but not in a creepy way? More like they notice you, the way you laugh, the way you talk, even the small things you think no one pays attention to. And then you start wondering, wait, do they actually like me? But here's the frustrating part. They never say it. No confession, no obvious flirting, just subtle moments that leave you overthinking everything at 2 a.m. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Because the truth is, most people don't walk up and say, "Hey, I have a crush on you." Especially in today's world, where rejection feels louder than ever. Instead, they show it. In quiet ways, in nervous habits, in the little things they don't even realize they're doing. So in this video, we're going to break down the real, subtle signs that someone secretly has feelings for you. So you can finally stop guessing and start understanding what's really going on. Let's get into it. The first sign is something you'll notice almost instantly. Once you start paying attention, they act different around you. Now think about this for a second. Have you ever seen someone who's usually loud, confident, maybe even a little chaotic, suddenly become quiet when you walk into the room? Or the opposite, someone who barely talks to anyone suddenly becomes extra talkative. Just around you? That shift is not random. When someone has feelings for you, their brain goes into overdrive. They start overthinking everything, what to say, how to act, how they look. And because of that, their behavior changes. They might laugh a little harder at your jokes, or struggle to even make eye contact. It's not about them being fake. It's about them caring too much. And honestly, that nervous energy? That's one of the most genuine signs there is. Now here's the second sign. And this one is subtle, but powerful. They always seem to be around you. Not in an obvious way, but somehow they're there. You walk into a room, and a few minutes later, they show up. You switch seats, and suddenly, they're not too far away. It almost feels like coincidence, until it happens again, and again. Here's what's really happening. When someone likes you, being near you feels good, even if they don't talk to you, even if they just sit there quietly. Your presence alone is enough, especially if they're shy. They might not have the courage to start a conversation, but they'll find ways to exist in your space. And if you notice someone doing this consistently, there's a good chance it's not accidental. Now let's talk about a sign that's a little more obvious, but still easy to miss. They're the one who reaches out first. Think about your phone for a second. Who texts first? Who sends that random meme? Who checks in for no real reason? If it's the same person over and over again, that means something. Because in a world where everyone is busy, distracted, and glued to their own lives, choosing to talk to you first is intentional. They don't need a reason. They just want a connection. And sure, sometimes the conversation might seem random or even pointless. But that's not the point. The point is, they're thinking about you. Now here's where things get interesting. The fourth sign involves something we all do, but rarely notice. Eye contact. Or more specifically, stolen glances. Have you ever caught someone looking at you, and then they immediately look away? Or maybe they don't look away at all. They just hold your gaze a little longer than normal. That moment, it says more than words ever could. Because when someone is attracted to you, they're naturally drawn to look at you. Not just because of how you look, but because of how you make them feel. And sometimes they get caught. That quick look away? That's nervousness. That lingering stare? That's admiration. Either way, it's not meaningless. And once you start noticing it, you won't be able to unsee it. Now let's talk about something softer, but just as revealing. Their smile. Not just any smile, but the one they give you. You'll notice it if you pay attention. It might be small and shy, like they're trying to hide it, or big and genuine, like they can't help it. But there's something different about it. It feels warmer, more real, because when someone likes you, seeing you genuinely makes them happy, and that happiness shows up in their expression, whether they mean to show it or not. It's one of those things that's hard to fake, and even harder to hide. Now here's a sign that can feel really flattering, but also a little confusing. They compliment you. A lot. And not just the obvious things. It's not always, "You look nice today." Sometimes it's deeper, more specific. They notice the way you think, the way you handle situations, even small things, like how you laugh or how passionate you get when you talk about something you love. And here's the thing. People don't pay that kind of attention unless they care. When someone has a crush on you, they start seeing you through a different lens. To them, you're not just another person. You're interesting, special, worth noticing. So those compliments, they're not random. They're a reflection of how they see you. Now let's get into a sign that most people completely overlook. But it's incredibly telling. They try to keep the conversation going. Have you ever tested this? You start pulling back a little. Maybe you give shorter replies. Maybe you act a bit distracted. Most people would take that as a cue to end the conversation, right? But not someone who likes you. They'll find a way to keep it alive. They'll ask another question, change the topic, send another message just to keep the connection going. Because to them, talking to you isn't just small talk. It's something they look forward to. It's something they don't want to lose. And that effort, that willingness to keep engaging, even when it's not easy, that says a lot. Now here's where things become even more obvious. If you know what to look for, they make time for you. And in today's world, that's huge. Because let's be honest, everyone is busy. Work, school, family, responsibilities. People are constantly juggling a million things. So when someone chooses to prioritize you, that's intentional. Maybe they say yes every time you ask to hang out. Maybe they rearrange their schedule just to see you. Maybe they show up, even when it's not convenient. That's not just kindness. That's interest. Because people make time for what matters to them. And if you're becoming a priority in their life, there's usually a reason behind it. But here's something important you need to hear. Not every sign, on its own, means someone has a crush on you. Someone might just be friendly, or naturally kind, or just enjoy your company. But when you start seeing multiple signs together, that's when it becomes something more. That's when the pattern starts to form. And patterns don't lie. So if you've been noticing several of these behaviors from the same person, there's a good chance you're not imagining it. Now let me ask you something. What if someone is feeling all of this about you, but they're too afraid to say it? Too scared of rejection? Too unsure of how you feel? So they stay silent, hoping you'll notice. That's why these subtle signs matter. Because sometimes, they're the only way someone knows how to express what they feel. And maybe, just maybe, you've been picking up on these signals all along, but brushing them off, overthinking them, telling yourself, it probably means nothing. But what if it doesn't mean nothing? What if it means everything? And maybe the real question isn't just, do they like me? Maybe it's, how do I feel about them? Because at the end of the day, feelings go both ways. And sometimes, all it takes is one person to notice the signs and take a small step forward. So, have you been seeing these signs in someone lately? Or maybe you realized you're the one doing all these things without even noticing. Either way, you're not alone. Human connection is messy, confusing, and honestly, kind of beautiful. And sometimes, the quietest signals speak the loudest. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that helps you understand people and yourself on a deeper level. And hey, drop a comment below. Do you think someone has a crush on you right now? Or are you secretly crushing on someone? Let's talk about it.